What is up? What is up, folks? How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey,
Greg, how you doing?
everybody. Very nice to see you. Adam, good to see you, brother. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
Um,
cut you off.
well, we got Matt. We got Matt on his way in, so we went ahead and fired it up. He should be here anytime. Oh, there he is. I think I see him now. I caught him before he sat down.
There he is.
Sorry,
Hey, you
buddy.
got a piece of pie, dude? You got
I
a
s-
piece of pie?
said I'm a
Got
growing
lasagna.
boy.
Got lasagna.
Uh, anyway, good to see everybody. Hopefully there'll be some more piling in. They usually do. So, yeah, y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe, for sure. Make sure we want everybody that's subscribed to one of us to be subscribed to all three, and likes all the way around. Um, Matt, how you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
You'll be better here in a minute.
I literally just got my food out of the microwave. I'm sorry, I'm not prepared, y'all, tonight.
Yeah,
I thought we were going live in an hour from now.
Okay.
You're good. I'm sorry. Anyway, are we going to start with Greg? We're going to just, we've got a few topics that we're going to talk about. And of course, like normal, I think we'll probably just take the conversation where it goes. But I know that you wanted to touch on some more of that legal stuff.
Susan.
Yeah, you wanted to touch on some more of that, the hearings.
Yeah, so I've got a topic to present. We can just go into it and just see where it goes. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? We don't have to spend the whole time on it, but I feel like that conversation will probably open up into some segues, which is perfectly fine. If we don't make it all the way through, it's fine. I'll
good.
finish up on another stream sometime.
Oh,
So
it's all good.
no big deal.
Hey, we all like to talk, and especially about this subject. So, hey, and real quick before he gets started, this is a brand new microphone set up all the way. Let me know in the chat how I sound, especially compared to them. I don't want to be overpowering, drowning them out. So, just y'all let me know if I sound about the same, volume wise or what.
And just know, I'm probably going to unplug my microphone while I slop down this microwave spaghetti so that you don't hear me. So I'll be listening, though. I'm going to be listening.
All right, buddy.
Yeah. So you want me to just go ahead and kind of open up and run into it?
Fire
Cool.
away. You're the resident attorney, so let's do it.
Yeah. So God bless. Thank y'all, everybody, for being here. Matt, Adam, as always, good to see y'all. So tonight I want to let me do the overarching. There is a guy named Chris Friel, Friel, who has published a series of papers on academia. I think it's .edu or .com. Let me look real quick. I want to for sure give him a shout out. Yeah, it's .edu. Academia.edu. Chris Friel, Friel. I'll post this stuff in the chat in a little bit. Anyways, this guy, and I think he's in the UK, has done some incredible work. I'll say this, and I think both Matt and Adam would agree, is that there are so many holes and inconsistencies with the official narrative. And, on top of the narrative being inconsistent from like the probable cause statement to the information to like these arrest and booking sheets, the pleadings, right? Also then with the media too, right? So information's been, alleged evidence been leaked to the media. So you have like all these inputs, right? And there's just a ton of inconsistencies. And as time's gone on, move forward in time from Charlie Kirk's incident, and obviously we've had discussions with both Adam and Matt, and obviously all our people here. We've pointed these things out one by one, but they're very numerous. And so I want to mention Chris Friel because he has done an excellent job, and I haven't had a chance to read all his papers, but I pulled some last night and today, and I'm going to present on one now, are just incredible. He has compiled all of these inconsistencies and these holes and actually, got the media sources, got the pleading sources from the official record and have put them all together. And in that has advanced some very, they're theories that we've all had. Like tonight, we're going to be speaking about the text messages. So his theory is that the messages were actually, and this is specifically related in primarily to the phone text messages, or what we're told are phone text messages. The most famous one between Tyler and Lance that everyone thinks is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, Chris actually advances a theory, which I'm sold, that basically this text exchange as we see it today was basically had like a basic format, which we'll see in the probable cause affidavit. It only has like 4 allegations in the probable cause affidavit related to, mostly the rifle and retrieving the rifle. But he alleges that in between the time the probable cause affidavit was filed on September 12th, and then when the indictment was filed on September 16th, that basically multiple people and again, this is all just allegedly, right? Within the government, federal and state, worked together to basically piece that story together for its final version that we see on September 16th. And so, because obviously the alleged facts and circumstances, I mean, they really continue to switch up till today, but we know in between 9/12 and 9/16, right, there were like narratives advanced in the media and retracted, and this is all reflected too in the information as we see. For instance, just one example, the Discord confession is mentioned in the probable cause affidavit, at least, generally. We see nothing about it in the information. And so what Chris laid out is a pretty good theory and has 10 points on it. So and again, we might not get through all of them tonight, but I think there's some very interesting points there, but basically alleges that this thing was piecemealed together. And let's be honest, some of it reads like it wasn't written by the same person, right? There's different sections that read differently. And so, he makes the allegation, which I, again, find pretty credible, that this thing was pieced together over that week into the final iteration that we see in the information. And so, I wanted to go over some of the points that he makes. Again, if we don't get through all of it today, I'll definitely be doing a stream where we more thoroughly, scrub this down. But for those who've been watching my streams as of late, we've been really, really focused particularly on the Discord alleged confession. And so this is kind of really just a continuation of it, but focusing a little bit more back on the text message exchange between Tyler and Lance Twiggs, or the alleged exchange between Lance Twiggs and Tyler. And so that's what I wanted to just kind of go over tonight. Again, just as much as we can until we get segued off into other issues, which perfectly fine. But do y'all have anything that y'all?
I was just going to say, every time I hear the prosecution speak, it reminds me of somebody with like a colander strainer, in the sink with the water running out of it, and literally taking and trying to take a finger to plug a hole, and then like, oh shit, I'm out of fingers, and there's still holes.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt, man. No doubt. And I'll say this too, y'all. I had been looking for quite some time to try to find the actual warrant, the search warrant, that they use to, search Tyler's residence and all this. But I found finally, it was sealed for the longest time, but I was able to locate the warrant for Tyler's phone. And so we now know that they did acquire Tyler's phone. And so presumably, and I'm going to do a stream on, as I've promised, really analyzing the legal authenticity and admissibility of those texts. And so, them having that phone, in my opinion, should make it a higher standard, meaning that because they have that, the most solid form that evidence could ever come in, straight from Tyler's phone, that they're going to need to produce it with all the metadata, all that stuff, right?
Well, I wonder why the defense hadn't seen it yet, because that's one thing they were saying, was that they had still not ever seen his phone or gotten his phone or...
I think tonight, if people, I think if we accept that as true, which I don't have any reason, not to, maybe they have it now. I know they said at a previous hearing, but it's been a long time, right? Like it was a long time. And if we,
6 months.
Obviously they got this search warrant like on the 12th, like shortly after the probable cause statement was filed, that next day after Tyler turned himself. I mean, they had the warrant within a few hours. Okay. So they presumably had this information since day one,
Yeah. I mean, you would, like I said, I mean, I'm no lawyer, I'm no, legal expert. I mean, but it just seems like after 6 months, they would have had access to that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, and I know a lot of us, we've been talking, it's like, they need to produce all the metadata. And a lot of it goes back to kind of what we'll discuss tonight, looking at the content of the messages, particularly the phone text message we've been discussing, like really draws into question, their authenticity just in its substance, right? Just in its substance. And that's
sources and methods is what they're lacking more than anything.
That's right. That's right.
They got a nice list of what evidences they're supposed to have along with the conclusions they've reached, but we need methods and sources to see how you came to these conclusions.
That's right. That's right. And like when we looked
at the end of the day, that's all that matters, correct?
That's right. And, you said something, we looked at, when the prosecutors made those statements to the media where like he admitted he had some integrity, we feel good that this new report, talking about the ballistics report, is going to fit our conclusions,
Right.
So like, and as I've said, these messages, I think are really the make it or break it as far as the state's case is concerned right now, right? Because there's really no direct, at least ballistics evidence connecting the rifle. It's inconclusive. But anyways, y'all want to say anything? I was going to get into I actually have part of the document I wanted to look at. I pulled it up onto the screen. So just whenever you're ready.
You got anything, Matt? Uh-oh. I'm sure Matt, the chat would like to know what you were eating on.
Yeah.
And can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Someone says you're acting like a 5-year-old, Matt.
Dude, no. Well, I had somebody texting me on the stream that was watching me eat and like telling me just how stupid I looked, and I couldn't stop laughing.
That's what most people like about a live stream.
So,
No, but I did get this. This is all in promotion for a future video I have coming up.
I'm assuming probably the same person that left that comment.
Respectfully, Matt, you are behaving like a 5-year-old.
Look, if they say respectfully, immediately is coming disrespect.
I respect that. No, I respect that, though. I respect that. Whoever said that, I respect that. You know what I mean?
When they say no offense, something offensive is coming.
Yeah,
but they said respectfully, you're acting like a 5-year-old. You know what they're telling me is that, hey, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm being serious.
Right.
You need to chill.
And
I would agree with that person. No, I actually had no idea that we were going live at 6. And
did I mess up on the time when I was? I'll have to go.
No,
back and
you didn't mess up.
Okay.
No, you didn't mess up. I'm just not used to it because
it's always
we don't have an official time. No offense, we don't have it. We just do everything freaking free ball.
It's 6.
It's 7 or 6 or 8 or 6 or 7.
Yeah, with the wife's job, it'll be 6.
Like this is a specific time. However, I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
It should be 6 for the next foreseeable future, at least on my
Are you
part,
serious? Because I used to complain to Adam all the time.
Yep.
Dude, I can't go live at 8 o'clock. That's too late.
Yep.
I need to be in bed by 8. And he wants to go live at 8. I can't do that.
Yeah, the wife got a weekend job, and so
Debbie, please tell me. You know what I'm talking about, Debbie.
Yeah. Anyway, she has to get up super early. So, I do it at 6. That way, come time to lay the babies down, I can lay them down and she can go on to sleep. So,
no, but honestly, you guys, I've been also freaking out because I've been texting someone who, let me double check if they're okay with me revealing this information on chat. Yes. Tomorrow, I get to meet Corby Hall in real life. Corby Hall in real life. Bro, the Victor Marx anti-hero, because Corby's yes. So you guys, does everyone in the chat, do you have any suggestions what Corby and I could do for a selfie to be funny? And keep in mind that we can use AI to edit the picture.
I would give anything to be there myself, where I could get me a dark blue hat and maybe even a jacket with the yellow FBI and be like hiding behind a tree and peeking at him, like with maybe some binoculars, because, they're searching for him. They can't find him.
Okay, that's hilarious. So basically, I could pretend like I'm an FBI agent and be investigating Corby while he's. I'm not going to tell you guys. Oh, you almost got the location of where we're meeting tomorrow out of me.
Easy.
Oh yeah, no, we're meeting in Chicago at McDonald's.
There you go.
Anyway, that's a good idea, though. I could be like pretending to be an FBI agent investigating him, and then when we take the picture, I'll edit it later with AI to put me in FBI clothes.
There you go. There you go. There you go, for sure.
Yeah, anyway, I'm sorry, guys, to distract everyone from the live stream. I know I've totally gone off subject.
We're good.
Adam, everything you were talking about, I basically wasn't paying attention because I was eating the food.
Oh, yeah. Matt, we were just talking about how their whole narrative has got so many holes in it. You know, and he was talking about how what's that guy's name again? I've heard that name, but
the guy that did the papers I've been looking at?
yes.
Oh, yeah. His name is Chris Friel, Friel. I just happened upon these last night, and I was completely blown away. I've
heard
read
the
about 6 or
name, but I
7
don't
of
know.
them.
I don't
What's
know.
up, Elizabeth?
Who they are.
Yeah, just how he's pieced out. He's alleging that this or that he says it sounds like all this was pieced together. All the text messages, like a little bit from here, a little bit from there. But hell, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
Yeah. You
take
want
us
to
through a
pull up
little
the
bit of it.
document real quick? We'll go through some of these pieces that he says. So again, this is Chris Friel. I don't think his name's even on the top of this, but anyways, I put his information in the chat for everybody. His on academia.edu, and he's also on X too. So give him a follow. This guy's done some work. He has done some work, and God bless him for it.
Yo, did you see the comment from Adam's Arc?
Yep, I was just responding.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Greg, but we got to be paying attention to these comments. We got a new guy.
No, you're good. No, that's fine. Yeah, absolutely.
Make sure you subscribe to all 3 channels, and that's basically all we do. So, yes, we're always looking into and talking about Charlie Kirk, and Mr. Greg here is our resident attorney. And so we get all our legal advice and analysis from him. And so, nobody goes deeper than he does when it comes to certain things.
They're obviously reserved creators, but as an attorney, I've really been focused over the since I really started my channel on, the Tyler Robinson court case, primarily, and then secondarily, the development of the other narrative, right? Like if you don't think that Tyler Robinson was the one who caused Charlie Kirk's unaliving, but what's this other narrative? Who might have done it? So also been covering and researching that, but to a lesser degree. But like tonight, at least for my part, we're going to talk a bit about the alleged telephone text messages between Tyler and Lance, because again, as I've said, and as many people know, just looking at the content of it really raises questions. And then Chris Friel here has actually gone through all the facts and circumstances and has made kind of a 10-bullet case as to why he believes that, for instance, that like there was an initial, fabrication of, hey, we're going to have, the text that, he used the rifle, like everything to do with the rifle, right? That was kind of like set in stone. And that's why it made it into the probable cause affidavit. But then over time, in between the 12th and the 16th, when they filed the information indictment, internally, against all allegedly, authorities basically manufactured the rest of it in order to fit the timeline and narrative that they had developed primarily through the media, right? In the interim. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah, as many ins and outs and little, twists and turns as this case has got, it would be almost impossible for them to do something like that right at the beginning. I feel like, at least in hindsight. So it makes sense that depending on the circumstances and what was going on, that they would, like I said, build it as they go.
Yeah. And because, them faking forensic and ballistics evidence is obviously much, much more difficult, and I guess you could say risky in a sense, than manufacturing. It's all allegedly speculation, right? Then putting these messages together. And in this age, a lot of people put weight into text, right? You know what I mean? Like if they believe firmly that someone sent a text, depending on what the substance is, I mean, that can be very damaging form of evidence.
So instead of trying to make all the forensic stuff match the storyline, just make the text messages make the text messages do it instead.
Yeah, it reminds Matt, you'll appreciate this. It reminds me of Recovery in that, they focused on the things that they can change. and forgot about, gave it to God, the things that they couldn't, so yeah, absolutely. But anyway, so like the first point here, he makes a good point, is that when we read the probable cause affidavit, again, so the probable cause affidavit was filed on the 12th. It was the document filed to substantiate or to, confirm the ability to arrest Tyler. He had already been arrested, right? But his probable cause affidavit is basically what starts the case. It lays out all the evidence that they had to date. Mm-hmm. And in that probable cause affidavit, it mentions, that investigators had spoken to Lance, right? That's where they first got these text Discord messages at. And the first point that he makes is that when you read, and I'll read it real quick from a probable cause affidavit, they don't really distinguish whether what the officer was looking at that time were Discord or text messages, okay? Even though now, they've made that distinction, the line was really blurred in the probable cause affidavit. And if we think about it, why that might be, well, if you keep it real vague and ambiguous, then as this thing develops over time, right, then we can notch it out to where when we get to the information, it'll be all, separated nice and neat. Go ahead.
Don't want to make anything too definitive statement wise,
That's right.
You can't go back on it, so no, that makes perfect sense.
Hey, Greg, you got a donation.
Yeah, thank you, Daisy. I just saw that. I will. I'll pull it up here in just a minute. Let me get through the first.
Way to go, Daisy Times! Let's go.
Yes. I'll be able to get some of them for too much longer.
Daisy Times in the building.
You should be able to get them now, Adam, if you're monetized.
I have to get.
He's so close.
Yeah, I've got the numbers, but it has to be approved, and it says it can take up to.
Oh, you're waiting on verification.
Yeah.
Okay. Any day. Anyways, let me read this real quick. So this is from the probable cause affidavit, and this is them talking generally about, encountering Lance, investigating him, and what that situation was. It says, investigators identified an individual as a roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed the roommate, who stated his roommate, talking about Tyler Robinson, made a joke on Discord. And I know I talked my last stream about that, the fact that if these phone text messages where Tyler admits to Lance what he did, are real, well, then why would he have thought that this later Discord message, right, that was his confession, was a joke? But anyways, lest I digress. But they go on to say, investigators asked if he would show the messages on Discord. Okay, this is important. Mm-hmm. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed them to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate. Okay, so here's the deal, right? It's because Discord, his handle was, I think it's like something monkey, zealous monkey 5589, and then here it's relating Tyler. So obviously, they're getting conflated, intentionally, not intentionally, we don't know. But obviously here they're conflating things on Discord with what were later being shown occurred on the phone. Yeah. And this right here, so he kind of sums it up. He says, to us, the most likely explanation is that the FBI have blundered, alleging Discord use at first, but then shifting to ill-defined text messages when that became problematic. The insinuation was that the exchange was on the same medium, talking, to where you can't really tell what they're, which platform these messages came from. Confession and worse. Discord promptly denied that Robinson had used the platform as the FBI indicated. As a result of this embarrassment, the indictment dropped the Discord narrative altogether, which is true.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
Oh no, I just saying, I mean, that's true.
Yeah. So again, just kind of like laying out this path of they were being very vague and, not specific. And then obviously when we get to the information, then now, specifically this was said on this. Now we don't have any timestamps on the phone text messages. And again,
not a single one.
If Chris is correct, why might that have been?
We'll get some timestamps eventually. Once we
over 4 days, while Tyler was already arrested and in custody, and it wasn't developed by Tyler in Lance.
Right. Yeah. I mean, We needed those
What's
timestamps
up,
at
Mark
the
David?
beginning, not at the end after they after they know what timestamps to put where because of the way the story went.
Yeah, exactly. And then, this second point here is real simple and straightforward, but I think it's very probative, is that, here's like when we look at this is what they say in the probable cause affidavit. Again, just very, very generalized, non-specific information. Then magically somehow, when it gets to the information, right, the charging document, now look how detailed and back and forth that all this is, right? And you got to think, well,
Right.
because there's a lot of quote unquote incriminating information in here. Why wouldn't they have put that in the probable cause affidavit, right?
would
I mean, you're
think.
trying to get a warrant, you should be putting all the relevant direct evidence information that you have, right? So just kind of in go ahead.
Can I read the
Oh yeah.
exchange between Robinson and roommate? So that's Lance? That's Robinson, Tyler Robinson and Lance?
No, there's no. Tyler Robinson, Lance Twiggs.
Yeah, and Lance Twigs. Wait, scroll down a tiny bit. I'm sorry. I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer, yet shouldn't be long until I come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret until I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Wow. So this is why everyone's criticizing him and being so robotic. I haven't seen these in a long time.
Yeah. I mean,
you weren't the one who did it, right? Tyler responds, I am.
I am.
I'm sorry, roommate. I thought they caught the person, ? No, they grabbed some crazy old dude and then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from the drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that is, I'd hope to keep this a secret until I died of old age. But instead, I'm going to give you a detail.
As you're telling it, I want to keep this secret.
I did. Account of what
I wish I could keep this secret.
Yeah. And make sure that I go through every single point in detail that you did.
Mama's been putting 2 bags of sugar in the cookies the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get on Discord and tell everybody.
And, and what Chris says too is that, you can really divide this into like 4 different kind of categories. Like one is the note he left under the keyboard. One is retrieving the rifle. One is the father made contact with him, and then, him willingly surrender. And so, what Chris is saying is that it's kind of divided into these subsections because they added them over time in sections, right? As kind of the extraneous narrative developed. They're like, okay, well, now we need to enter this one about him turning himself in because this is how it went, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's no way they could have written that ahead of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just very unlikely. It just doesn't fit, right? It seems like these one in time, it seems like spaced out, but it seems like other people were involved in different sections too, just the way it kind of reads for a lot of people anyway. One other thing too that he points out is that in the let's see, let me go down here and just read it. So here goes the themes he discusses. Like one's the note under the keyboard, rifle retrieval. He says, we contend that the text exchange was not written in one go, but at first just the second section was composed with the other sections following shortly thereafter. And then he goes to transcriptions. He goes, officially the text exchange was captured by investigators on a computer screen, but presented in the indictment without timestamps, but with ellipses and so on in the house style. Obviously, they were transcribed, but we suggest that more than one transcriber was involved. A first just transcribes the images to the full text, the second to what we see in the indictment document. It's basically saying that's not suspicious that they transcribed it per se, like basically took what the other investigators took them. But he points out here, thus the story was that the bullet cartridges were engraved, with the indictment detailing one message as notices bulge OWO He says OWO means oh wow, but the text message section notices bulge UWU, where UWUVU means Utah Valley University. Thus, it seems to be an error made in ignorance of the OWO meme. Is OWO some type of meme? Are y'all aware of that?
I don't know. I'm not up on.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
OWO. Nope. Never heard of it.
Or what that is. Anyway, so that was just something that he pointed out. But here is another one about Robinson's mentality. Here he talks about the fact that there are different themes. Like one, in regards to the note hidden under a keyboard, and it suggests forethought from Robinson. The idea perhaps is that when his roommate sees it, he will have confirmation that the texts are genuine. Tyler provides verification in advance, so to speak, and any reader of the text might well suppose that if such a note existed, then text must be genuine. So kind of like trying to
Right.
counter verify one another. You know what I mean? The fact that he mentioned the note in there.
Oh no.
The second theme regards the rifle retrieval. Close examination suggests that more than one attempt was made. The idea conveys the unfolding events shared in real time with Lance, right? So like, and a lot of people have pointed that out too, right? That like the timing of all that. And then he also talks about like information about, oh, the police are on this side of town and, you know, they have it locked down and all this stuff, you know, that he might not have either been privy to that information or some of it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
The father's communication. Go ahead, Adam.
No, I was just saying, you're right. I mean, about the not making sense part, especially.
Yeah, and so here he goes. Taken as a whole, the text not always makes sense. Tyler wants to keep the killing a secret until he dies, and yet he has, like we were just saying, yet he has prepared an incriminating note in advance, the first section,
Right.
and in various other places make abundant confession. Tyler then asks Lance to delete the text, third section, though he clearly does not oblige. But Tyler doesn't actually request that Lance destroy the note, but this is what he does. Yeah, have y'all ever heard that one reconciled? That, like, you know, why did Lance necessarily destroy that note? And I think the more overarching question is, why wasn't he charged for destroying the note?
And why take a picture of it?
I know. It's like you're going to burn it, presumably to get rid of it to protect this dude.
But take a picture first.
Yeah, you
Just
take
keep
a
the damn
picture of
paper.
You know, again, this is just speculation, but maybe that was to prevent any hardcore forensic analysis of the.
I don't know. I wish we could like take an average of how many of these little stupid mistakes are made every case because they just say, "Oh, we just don't feel like it right now," and then compare it to this, because there's been so many times where they just act like.
Well, and you know, the thing about it is one very important part of, you know, evidence, or, you know, the forensic part of evidence, and especially of that type, you know, you got handwriting experts and everything that'll go over it. And not only do they look at the style and the way the letters are shaped, and, you know, they'll pay attention to, you know, where they stop and start at, but they, you know, they normally look at like where the pressure is the most, or, you know, all the variations in pressure that were used to write it, and every bit of that is super important when it comes to the forensics of stuff like that. And I'm sorry, but you can't do any of that from a screenshot or a photo.
No. He says, finally, we can note that 2 counts in the indictment referred. So that's another thing too, is that the probable cause affidavit, you know, it doesn't have all the charges that ended up being in the indictment, which by itself isn't, you know, that can definitely happen as facts develop, but it's like key facts that would have been available whenever the probable cause affidavit was drafted, right, were omitted, and those charges were omitted too, but magically made it into the, well, presumably, right? I guess what he's trying to say here is that the extra charges that are in the indictment, the information, are based upon information that were from the text, and I think the note too, or the Discord message. So it's like, well, presumably they would have seen that during the probable cause affidavit. One, why did they omit those messages? And right. 2, why did they omit the charges? Does that make sense?
No,
Because he said, yeah, finally we can note that 2 counts in the indictment refer to witness tampering, the request to delete the messages and not to talk to police, count 6. Yet Lance is never charged with anything despite destroying a note, as we shall learn from the director of the FBI. So it was Kash Patel that announced in the media that Lance had destroyed the note. And then the
makes
next
no
one,
sense at all.
yeah, no, not at all. And then we go to the actual note. It says, as indicating the probable cause affidavit does not refer to the note under the keyboard, right? There's nothing mentioned in the probable cause about the note, and the indictment only refers to it in the context of this text exchange between them, meaning that
Crazy.
Yeah, meaning that the only idea we get of it is like actually reading the text exchange. The prosecutor doesn't make any independent allegation about it. Does that make sense?
didn't think
did y'all
about
see the
that.
comment in the chat? Carrie says like, UVU has nothing to do with UVU. He scraped bulge on the bullet, then enter sexy sound here.
I'm
not sure about that one.
Yeah, well, I'm not even really sure what was actually transcribed on it because it's unclear. It's unclear because the probable cause affidavit lists the what was it, UWU, and then when it got, or no, wait, it was UVU. No, I'll tell you back. Here we go. Let's see. Thus, the story was that the bullet cartridges were engraved with the indictment, the information detailing one message as notices bulge, OWO.
Right.
Here, OWO means oh wow, but the text message section notices bulge, UWU, where UVU means Utah Valley University. So I think maybe he misprinted that. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really sure what that was supposed to mean.
Well, I mean,
but it
would be hard to get that. What is it, Bella? What is
Chow?
it?
Yeah, it was one of them, I believe.
I mean, that'd be pretty hard now. I mean, I could see on a 50 caliber, but like, 30-06 cartridge, that's a lot to cram on, a bullet.
That's what I was thinking. Like, yeah, and especially to engrave it, right? Because you have to get like presumably a knife or some type of obviously, durable metal object to do it.
They're insinuating they're insinuating a Dremel anyway, because remember they mentioned him having a Dremel tool there. But now he's braver than I am. I've done enough reloading to know I'm not going to take an engraver to a live bullet.
Yeah, no. Oh, no. Yeah, no, you're right about that. It might spark up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, that's
it might be a bad day.
Dumb.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, just real quick on the note. This is a good one right here. He talks about the note. He says, indicated the probable cause affidavit does not refer to the note under the keyboard, and the indictment only refers to it in the text exchange. Let's see. He says the natural reading here is that investigators could read what the note said from the photograph that Lance took, but just a day earlier, Kash Patel went on Fox to explain that the note had been destroyed. Right. How then was the messages deciphered? And then it says Desert News explains the FBI has put together a note Robinson allegedly wrote prior to assassination. The written note, we believe, did exist, and we have evidence to show that what was in that note. The suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. Patel said the note was found in Robinson and his partner's home in St. George. It had been destroyed, but they put together, forensic evidence and confirmed what it said.
Forensic evidence?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what that's supposed to mean in this.
Where is that? Yeah. What is that?
Huh?
I'd like to see the forensic evidence.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what they're talking about forensic. I mean, they say he took a picture, but I don't think a picture is technically considered forensic evidence. I mean, I could be wrong on that.
What is forensic evidence?
To me, man, I'm glad I don't know this off the top of my head, but to me, it's like something that has to be kind of scientifically analyzed and verified in some way. Like, that's a good thing. You want to Google it?
Yeah, I'm Googling. Any scientific or physical data used in legal proceedings to investigate and establish the facts of a crime.
Okay, yeah. So I don't know if that would necessarily.
It's basically that was a fancy ass way to just say it's the facts. It's pretty much just saying this. Whatever's the truth.
Yeah.
The forensic evidence. Okay, so like whatever's real that the police decide is real, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the trick. It's forensic evidence is what the police have decided is factual. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is funny too. I remember when Patel said, he goes, 3 months later, Patel would tell Fox that the contents of the note was discerned. This makes no sense. By the aggressive interview posture
That's
of
the
the
one
FBI.
I was just looking for that clip.
Like what? Like it's a note.
Interview
Like, what
posture of the FBI.
Yeah, like
Yes.
did you interrogate the note? Like I don't know, we like beat up the burnt piece of the note or what?
God. I know. I mean, and the guy even asked him, like, if the note was destroyed, how were you able to confirm it? And he comes back with, by
No.
the FBI's, aggressive interrogation.
No, are you
Yeah.
serious?
I'm telling you, I was trying to find the clip here, but I ain't been able to find it yet.
Cash Patel makes me want to freaking slam my computer
I
down
know it.
so many times.
Yeah.
Cash Patel is so annoying.
Yes.
God, he's terrible.
He does not make
He
any
is
sense.
terrible.
His
No,
girlfriend
it's
is
bad.
cheating on him. That's a fact.
Probably, but hell, the way they talk, allegedly, he's up there hanging out with some dude in Vegas, so maybe he's cheating on
He
her.
lives with a dude in Vegas. He lives with a dude. Which there's nothing wrong. I mean, when guys living together, don't get me wrong.
No,
but
there's
it's like,
something wrong with that, Greg.
when you're
there's
the
something
director
wrong
of
with
the
that.
FBI, you should have your own crib.
There's
right?
something wrong with that, Greg.
Especially
Yeah, the
in
director of the
Trump's
FBI,
FBI.
yes.
I mean, with Trump being president, you can go shake anybody down you want to. You can,
Yeah.
you should have a lot of money if you're director of the FBI under
Oh,
Trump,
yeah.
and you should have a mansion in Beverly Hills.
Sophie from Sweden. Hello, Sophie.
Hey, Sophie, she's a lawyer too.
Sweden,
Hey, Sophie.
let's
Oh.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We need to have her on then.
yeah.
Dude, I got a bag of pure cocoa chocolate. I feel like I should just show it right now. Just be like, sweet, let's go.
This last paragraph.
Just kidding.
it
That's not
says-
Switzerland. Never mind. It's a joke.
He goes, obviously the narrative is unstable. The note was photographed and yet it was found destroyed, though the texts referencing it were not, despite Tyler's request. Moreover, the contents of the notes were discerned by some mysterious forensic evidence that seems to have consisted in an aggressive interview posture. We
Yep.
get no suggestion that the roommate was ever suspected of tampering with the evidence, and his actions make little sense. Photographing evidence he was going to destroy and then telling the FBI. I mean, yeah.
Yep. I'd like to know exactly what an aggressive interrogation.
I know,
posture
like,
means.
I mean, is he suggesting that like Tyler or Lance wasn't gonna like say what the note said or give him the picture until they like threatened him? Or I mean, but let's be real. You know that they boss hogged Lance, right? They
Then,
did whatever
Greg,
they
I have a
Yeah.
question for you. Have you
Yeah.
decided yet if you had to place like a 50-50 bet or something, would you bet on Tyler being working with Israel to kill Charlie, or Tyler totally unknowing?
I tend to think Tyler was. I don't think my opinion is that he had some undercover relationship with the FBI or CIA, like on
Yeah.
some unrelated stuff.
I don't
and
think he
through
knew
that,
really anything.
What's up now?
I don't think he really knew anything as far
I
as
don't either. I really don't. I mean, I don't think that.
But Greg was going down some weird, strange role. You're saying you think Tyler had some connection, like even if it's as dumb as this, like
I think
what do they?
that
How do they reach out to people? They text them on World of Warcraft or something.
Discord,
They text,
Discord.
they send them a Discord message like "Hi." Do you think Tyler was
they
going back and forth with someone on Discord about this somehow?
Yes, I think
no,
there was
no,
an
not
FBI
this
agent.
time, no.
There's a
no, not this
disagreement.
time. With maybe the FBI or CIA were like
Yeah.
contacting him unrelatedly before this, probably
Acting like they're a
pressuring him through
weirdo.
some type of blackmail or something to that effect that got his involvement, that spurred his involvement. But I don't think that he knew specifically anything that was going on that day. I think he was more or less duped into being a certain place, a certain time in that vicinity, maybe. I just don't think he had any kind of like direct knowledge or involvement of like,
Yeah.
hey, we're going up here to like help with, getting rid of Charlie Kirk today. I just don't.
Yeah,
That could be
the other
I feel you.
the other thing
you.
is like the Adams Acre right here said.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Julie Bradley's one of my OGs.
They
Oh,
find,
there we go. Hey, Julie.
They find
Let's go,
something you
Julie.
said in a chat somewhere that maybe involves some illegal goings on, and then take it and hold it over your head and say, well, you're going to do this and you're going to do that. And, if you don't, then.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, CP is one of the most common things that they use for
penguin.
That's right. And I've read somewhere, it might have been in this one too, is that there's
George
somewhere, I think they had, actually with Lance Twiggs, I want to say that there's been the allegation or suggestion that Lance Twiggs made a comment, like a sexual comment about an infant's picture or something.
Oh, God.
And then that was used to get at him. I don't know that for sure. I'll have to go back and see where I saw that. But, something to that effect, right? That they either were looking at something on their computer or, again, had made comment on some type of, CP post or something to that effect is what got their involvement with the government. But that was kind of the leverage point of commanding Tyler around, and I guess Lance Twiggs too was commanded around. Maybe not. Well, some people think Lance Twiggs was actually the one up there. Some people think Lance Twiggs actually the one who had, the thing to do with Charlie Kirk, or that he was at least at the campus that day. So yeah, it's still a mystery,
Do you think Lance Twiggs was connected with the Mr. Beast guy that was transgender?
The Mr. Beast guy?
Because they both had the Shadman art.
Are you talking about the
Destiny
person? Or I don't know who the Mr. Beast.
Do you know, the Lance Twiggs was into the Shadman art? You know what I'm talking about? Oh, never mind. Then don't even go that way.
Shadman art.
No, don't even search it. It's it's
okay.
basic. It's not child. It's not CP, but it's cartoon. It's anyway. And Mr. Beast guy got in trouble with it, and so Lance Twiggs and
is it like anime or something?
It's that just weird. That I don't even know how to go down that alley, but is that down that direction?
You think about all the weird things that people do. I mean, nowadays, I've heard stories of people using even oh God, games is one big thing. You know what I mean? They use all kinds of different games to communicate and to do all these things.
LOL, nosy Google.
You need to go back and watch yourself at 2x speed. Matt.
Okay, I will.
You're a little bit funny when it's harder to understand what you're saying, I think is what no, I'm just kidding. So anyways, this next point here, he goes, the third section talking about the information opens with the request, or of the text, opens with the request that Lance deletes the text exchange of the previous night, presumably so the incriminating evidence will be discovered. Obviously, this is an offense, but the probable cause affidavit had only made out 3 charges. The section that we had discussed continues with the story about the father trying to contact Tyler about the gun, with Tyler letting Lance know that he was ignoring it. Conspicuous by its absence is any mention of the gun and towel found in the news. So basically, Tyler was relaying things that were coming out in the news to Lance, yet the most, material was them finding the gun and the towel, prints, and images from the stairwell of him, or the reward, or finally the earlier call from his mother, to which he responded. Of course, these things are also absent from the probable cause. So basically, he's saying that it's funny how just very select things that were out in the news Tyler mentions, them going after George Zinn was one.
Right.
There was 1 or 2 more. But anyways, basically he's saying is that these other very material disclosures in the press were never mentioned, right? He says, logically, these events were meant to have happened after the New York Post put out a stock photo of the Mauser, meaning after 9:22 a.m., but obviously at some time during the day after the killing. One problem with what we regard as an afterthought is that while the rifle retrieval was located at a time when Tyler was away from both his parents and his lover, these separations are continued. Tyler is neither with his father nor his lover, as he's being texted by the one and testing the other. Our view is that the fabricator has not thought things through properly with regard to the first third section. That said, the revelations that Robinson refueled at that gas station 50 miles from home around 7:15 would suggest that Robinson did not spend the night in St. George, which in turn raises the question as to the current state of Tyler's relationship with Lance. As I've said before, I don't know necessarily whether they were even in like some type of romantic relationship with one another.
I've thought myself that there's a good chance they weren't.
Yeah, that maybe they were just friends living
You
together.
guys see what Debbie is talking about though in the chat? It's completely off subject to what you're talking about. Debbie, what is Debbie saying?
Hey, she wants my puppy to be in the stream.
Hey, bros,
okay.
three of us ladies think Jax should be in every time.
We're sitting here trying to talk about Charlie Kirk. She's worried about his puppy.
Look,
Oh,
since we're doing
Debbie.
it early, since we're
It
doing
is a
it
pretty
early
puppy.
tonight, before we hang up, I'll cut my
There you
camera and I'll
go.
go downstairs and pick him up and bring him up here to see
There
y'all.
you go.
There we go, Debbie.
Scouts honor. Scouts honor.
You get to win.
Yeah, but yeah, like you say, Adam, I've had, and it's really, to be fair, just kind of recently within the last few weeks, like started to like really consider whether that's true that they like, you know, they live together. Yeah. And, you know, I could see it very easy for the feds or the government to like say, oh, well, they live together. So this will be an easy sell, you know?
Oh, especially when they saw that picture of him wearing that hoodie with the ears on it.
Lance,
like, oh, yeah, he's a furry.
Saying they're furries, yet that's the only thing that we've ever seen, even in the galaxy of
only thing I've ever seen him wear other than that's like all black, or you know, maybe not all black, but I mean like just jeans and a t-shirt, you know.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah,
you're
talking about Lance. Yeah, I've never seen Tyler wearing anything, or I've never even seen a picture of Tyler that even suggests that he is into all that.
Me neither. Ever.
And with Lance, it's you know, he's got a few pictures, I think, where he's like wearing some makeup, and then he has that one. So I have no doubt that Lance was looking to transition or was transitioning, right?
No doubt he was a weirdo one way or the other.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and I mean, if we take the Turkey Tom, you know, remember the Turkey Tom, like the those which I think obviously, I think the consensus that the feds steered that Turkey Tom video.
I think so. There is nobody.
So I don't know if those writings were real or not, but if they are, then yeah, most definitely Lance.
There's no friend that would just take pictures of the diary, especially not at the same time saying, I didn't want to invade his privacy too much, but, you know, I took pictures of his diary. It was just that, to me, it was dumb.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was funny. Barron's episode after that was funny. And he did another one recently going back into it where it was like, it's just obvious, you know.
You still hear people reference the Turkey Tom video.
Well, yeah, and you know that, like, you know, the Turkey Tom, you got to see it from his perspective, right? Here he is, this YouTuber, and someone's emailing him with super inside information and pictures and stuff. You know, he was going to jump all over it.
I'm not saying he was in on it, but
no, I don't know if he was, or I don't think necessarily.
Whoever passed him that information has got to be Fed adjacent in some way or another.
Yeah. One thing here I'll say is that he alleges too. His idea is that this that deputy that allegedly, you know, helped Tyler like turn himself in, that like he was feeding information as he was feeding it to like the feds or them, that like they were using that information also to put into these text and Discord and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Let's see real quick. And then the confessions in the Discord group, he does a great job too. And I know I've been talking about this, like when you look at the probable cause affidavit, when you look at the information, when you look at the press release that the sheriff did in these other items, like there is absolutely nothing consistent with the story of how and why Tyler turned himself in. And I think at this juncture, the evidence is pretty overwhelming that whole thing has been fabricated. And again, just my opinion, speculation, right? That like that whole thing's been fabricated. And again, I think it was so really to fit I think it was a couple things. I think it had to do with, one, the Discord confession. They wanted to make sure that this Discord confession was like within a time frame where he could have, done this. But another one I think he says has to do with the clothes. The clothing. These changes of clothes have never really been elucidated in any manner that makes sense. Like, what clothes did he wear?
How many changes of clothes does a person carry around anyway?
I know. Yeah, like where did he leave them? I've never seen pictures where they recovered the thing. Oh, that's another thing is that if we the sheriff.
Greg, I have to say goodbye real fast, and I can't explain why. Goodbye, you guys. Have a great night. Y'all have a good live stream. Okay.
All right.
Yes. No, everything's good. No, everything's
y'all go like and subscribe and everything over at Matt's.
Yeah, go give Matt some love. Okay. Well, God bless Matt. I guess he will be with us next Friday when we return.
Yep.
But we'll keep it rocking and rolling.
That's right. We'll roll on.
Yeah. So
by the way, I'm listening and I'm right here. I'm just going to go off camera for just a minute.
Yeah, go for it. All
right, buddy.
Yeah. So this right here, y'all, is just like kind of a quick breakdown of the timing of when the Discord confession. He says, for completeness, we can add that Robinson did apparently confess to the Discord group to which he belonged. He's not being serious here, but he says this was precisely timed just 5 minutes before the former deputy, right, called the sheriff at 8:02, talking about Sheriff, God, what's his name? Oh, man, I'm sorry, I can't remember it. But, the Washington County Sheriff, man, and I've been reading his name all day. But anyways, y'all know what I'm talking about. Anyways, it goes, here we do find a timestamp, talking about as opposed to the text messages at 7:57 p.m. In theory, then, the text Discord exchange from Tyler must have been completed by this time. Apparently, then, Tyler had now confessed to his mother, father, lover, and social media group, and, of course, to the deputy, a family friend. This post from Zealous Monkey must have been his last. It would obviously have been made when he was still free and before he had actually surrendered. It's strange then that while the probable cause affidavit is aware of a joke on Discord, as I brought up the other day, maybe that Tyler had a doppelganger, blah, 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 it never refers to this explicit confession that we can suppose that Tyler's family and the deputy would have known about. So basically, when I was talking about the joke and saying, he wouldn't have thought that it was a joke. Apparently there were other Discord messages I wasn't necessarily aware of when he said that, where there was joking going on, that the person that was in the picture of Tyler released to the media, allegedly of Tyler in that staircase. Apparently there was another Discord session where the people were like, oh, that's Tyler's doppelganger. So like, that's the joke they were referencing to in the probable cause affidavit. But anyways, the probable cause affidavit doesn't make any reference to this alleged confession, which they would have technically known about and was there at the time it was drafted. And so he's just making a point about that like, it's funny that they don't mention specifically in the probable cause affidavit this Discord confession, and merely refer to this other section where there was a joke about whether the person in the picture was Tyler's doppelganger or not. The idea seems to be that the post just lay there waiting to be read by whoever would find it, as someone did, suggesting to the group that prayers be said for Tyler. We can repeat that the indictment says nothing about Discord at all. It doesn't, including the joke, which is mentioned in the probable cause affidavit. And yet by this stage, the media had picked up on the Discord confession. The Washington Post reporting on September 15th. So again, we don't see any mention in the actual information about this Discord confession, even though it was well out there in the media, at least a day before the September 15th. But again, they had Tyler's phone. They had spoken with Lance Twiggs at 1 a.m. on the 12th, right? And with the Discord confession allegedly being posted at 7:57 the night before. So again, there's just no reason why in the probable cause affidavit and in the information, the Discord confession would not have been front and center, right? Because it really is the most direct, confession to the crime. I mean, the text messages do in a way confess to it, but it's not as direct as the Discord confession. Am I right, Adam? Do you agree?
I mean, yeah.
He's back. Okay, just making sure.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah. So anyways, I'll read this last little section. It just wraps it all up, and then we'll move on. It says, putting the preceding points together, it seems clear that the text exchange must have been composed in stages, with an early version comprising the second section only, which would have been what were the different sections? Let me just, that way we can remind. The rifle retrieval efforts. Okay, yeah. So he's saying that would have been like the first section that they put together was him trying to go retrieve the rifle. The information therein being presented by the probable cause affidavit, while the indictment, which is actually called the information, expands this into 4 sections. So adds 3 additional categories of evidence in there. The period of time between the publication of the probable cause affidavit, which would have been September 12th, and the indictment, which would have been September 16th, seems to be marked by shiftiness and unprincipled development. For example, with regard to the Discord, after the platform denied that Robinson had used it to try to conceal his crime, and Robinson's username was deployed in a suspiciously timed confession. And we would note that the charge sheet grew accordingly. Perhaps the most bizarre element regards the note under the keyboard. The first section of the text exchange indicates that it existed, but it turns out that it was destroyed. Indeed, found destroyed, but conveniently photographed, and yet strangely worded contents were discerned from the FBI's aggressive interview posture. On the other hand, the text exchange reveals nothing about the mother contacting her son, recorded in the indictment, truthfully perhaps, and quite possibly sourced from the mother. The fabricators have not included this detail, or if they did, it was never transcribed. The father's contact with his son, however, is mentioned, and it seems likely that, genuine or not, the information comes via the deputy who in the official version of events the father turned to. We suppose that the reverse was true. The deputy likely alerted the father and possibly suggested that he should contact the son about the gun. This information then fed the third section of the text exchange before any information from the parents was processed. So that's Chris's breakdown of why he thinks that the text messages were, basically developed over a period, that period of time, if that makes sense. And yeah, you can take it down, Adam. I'm done with it. And yeah, y'all. So look, I'll keep presenting, as time goes on. He has so much good material, and I cannot recommend enough going to check out his X account, which again, I put it in the chat. I'll do it again real quick. His X account, and then his academia.edu profile. He's done, I think, in between 20 and 30 papers, again, just piecing all this. And again, you might not agree with some of his conclusions and assumptions and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, he
go ahead.
No, he's done a pretty good breakdown of it.
As an attorney, like I can just tell y'all, he's done a great job of compiling this information, and I do feel that he's put it together in a very competent way. I think the reason why I like it is because all these streams we've done, with me and Adam, like all the things we've been pointing out, sometimes I think about it like, man, there's just so many things. Can I remember all of them? Where did we hear this? Where did this? He's put all that stuff together. And again, I think he's done a great job. So,
I mean, I hadn't really heard anything that I disagreed with.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. In here, I'll put his stuff in. It's Chris Fiel, and then here's his. He's on X under that name, and then here's his academia.edu link for those who would be interested in it. And Chris, if you're out there, thank you, brother. We appreciate it, and I'll continue to present your stuff and appropriately credit you. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen anybody else break it down like that.
Yeah, no, he like I say, he's done a really good job at putting all this stuff together and really collecting it. Like when you go look at his stuff, he's got links to all the different articles and transcripts. Oh, like I was gonna say, real quick,
Yeah, it's sourced and all, ain't it?
Yeah, because he included a link here to the Cash Patel thing. So hold on just a second. Let's see. Oh, there we go.
Let's see. I'm curious about the rifle that the FBI found after a bunch of canine dogs had been sniffing around. And that photo of the rifle that obviously was the picture that Tyler's dad saw and figured it was his dad's. You know, I mean, maybe they're going to make the timelines and everything work out a little better when we finally get to trial. But I mean, to me, I don't see how that's even possible. When he supposedly realized that it was his gun was before that article with that photo ever was published.
Yeah.
So that's not ever made sense to me. And of course, the bomb dogs, I mean, that's there's only one way to look at that, and that's BS for whatever reason. Either that was an unfired gun, or either it was an unfired gun that had been there, or maybe it possibly had been fired in the recent past, but it didn't get there till they found it then in that case.
Yeah, and also too, I can't remember exactly which one, but in some of these papers of Chris, he addresses the, actually in the probable cause affidavit, they cite to a alleged text that Tyler sent, and he talks about the dog. Allegedly talks about the dog in there. Let me find it real quick. Oh, he goes, let me see. Let's see. Hold on a second.
So he don't cover just the letters or the the messages.
He covers it all. Man, where did that part go where they had? Because
Tyler's needs a YouTube channel.
Tyler's like, I hope the doggy doesn't have a good sniffer or something like that.
Yes. No, exactly. That's 100% what he said.
Yeah, and it's like that just sounds too ridiculous to be true.
And Gary, it's in there. I know for a fact it is. I remember that. But and Gary Melton, like, oh, how do you even know there was dogs? Where's proof that there's dogs? Well, I mean, like Tyler Robinson himself, according to what they're, according to the letter. I don't remember if that was in. I guess it was in that the text message chain. But either way, I mean, according to Tyler Robinson himself, they had dogs there.
Yeah, they are. It says 3 hours ago, there was an officer with a canine walking nearby the area, hoping that Pooch has a bad sniffer. I mean, it's just so terrible, dude. Like, who wrote that, man? Like, they need to get off the text fabrication committee or
I'm telling
task force, whatever they're on, man. But so like with the canine, you're right. And I think according to the 911 tapes, I think it was like 30, 40 minutes or something after.
Debbie said they had colds that day.
Yeah, they must have. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I think the dogs came like 30, 40 minutes after the actual incident, and they didn't hit on anything. Oh, so that was too, is that, he was talking about it in the context of the clothing, because I think allegedly Tyler changed his clothes and ditched some behind where he left the rifle, or in that vicinity maybe. But he was saying that, that's what it was. If the dog let me take it back. I'll find it and report on it what he was saying, because it was pretty clever and made a lot of sense as far as the dog and the sniffing. But yeah, the dog not going to the gun, right? Because I mean, I would imagine that's what they had him there for, right? Like, hey,
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, there were no bomb threats that I know of.
yeah. Or they could have to sniff his trail. Like, where did he exit?
True,
at, right?
true.
But still, though, that should have led him to the gun, right? That
Right.
should have led him to the gun. They should have been able to go up there to where, I'm not sure if they would have left. Yeah, he might have left a scent. Well, the screwdriver. They alleged that the screwdriver was left up there on top of the roof. Presumably, the canine could have possibly smelt the screwdriver for his scent and followed it, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me look real quick.
Yeah, I mean, and Gary always wants to say, but we don't know what kind of dogs they were. They might have been bond sniffing dogs and not gun sniffing dogs, and that's two different things. Bullshit.
I don't think it is, though,
now.
is it?
They can have specialties, but gunpowder is an explosive, and they are trained to sniff out all explosive, which covers gunpowder.
And we got to think about too in the context. And that's one thing Chris is really good about doing too, is that he puts himself into the position of law enforcement at the time. Like, what did they know? What would they normally have wanted to do? And that is, so if they're, and they obviously thought it was a gunshot, right? I mean, they should have, right? I'm almost sure. Oh, that's right. They did, because we read the text message. Yeah. Anyways, they thought it was a gunshot. So why would they bring any other dog out there? Either like a bloodhound to follow a scent, or a gun dog to find a rifle, and or one that can do both.
Yep.
It
wouldn't have made sense for them to have anything, it wouldn't have made sense for them to have bomb specific dogs out there. But again, like I said, with the bomb dogs, I mean, they don't, it's not that they sniff out bombs, they sniff out explosives, which covers gunpowder.
Let me see real quick. Oh, he does a good job too. He did a paper on the police who found, the police that magically was able to go locate the sniper position afterwards. Like, he does a really good job about tearing that one up too. I want to find this where he talks about the dogs, man. And then he does a whole, like, the one I recommend everyone read, to be quite honest with you, is one called A Critical Examination of the FBI's Case Against Tyler Robinson. Like, he literally breaks down, like I said, all the holes, all the inconsistencies, and puts it into one tight essay, I must say myself.
It's a shame that people like that, like, you usually got two different kinds of people. You got the ones that like doing essays, or the people that like to get on and do what we're doing.
Yeah.
Somebody like that would be if they were good in front of a camera, would be, man, he'd have it made.
Oh, he'd be great. Yeah. And I told him on X that, I was reading his stuff and that I was going to be using it for a bunch of my streams, and that I'd credit him. And, he said he's grateful, and said, he'd be more than willing to help out anytime, I'm doing a live stream or doing an X post or whatever. So again, Chris, if you're out there, man, thank you and God bless. The screwdriver, is a major issue too. Did you know that it was both reported that it was found in one instance with the gun and stuff over in the woods, and then also I think initially
found on the roof.
Found on the roof, and that's another thing too, is that
I had forgotten about that, but
yeah, and obviously the officer who first went to the roof, if it was up there, would have put that in the report. But when you
would think so.
And we don't know who that officer was who went up there. So again, he points, and again, I could go on and on, but he points out all this stuff in his materials, and it's really good. But let me look at this real quick.
Sounds like we need to be just getting all our show notes from the next
Dude,
foreseeable
I'm
future.
not gonna lie to y'all, man. I'm gonna be getting a lot from it. And I'll say this, in fairness to us, a lot of it's stuff that we've sat here and talked about, right?
Right.
Yeah. But he just puts it all in a
It's all
really
in one
good
place
framing,
like that.
and has all the citations to the media, to the official documents and stuff like that.
Imagine how long that took to do all that sourced and
Yeah, I think he's been to be honest with you, I think he's been doing it consistently since the start of the case. And so it kind of like builds on itself. Whereas if we wanted to do it now, we'd have to go like all the way back through all that stuff. I think he's been doing it and I don't know this as a fact, but it seems like he's been doing it on an ongoing basis. And so,
yeah,
let's see real quick. I'll do a search. Okay, here we go. All right. Let's see.
Now, Betty Boop, I'd say at least one or two of those pictures were probably Lance Twiggs and not Tyler. And look, the prosecution went ahead and threw the disclaimer out. They set that up. They were talked about how when he got there, it was plain to see it was Tyler Robinson, no doubt about it. And then when he came back with, he said, with a disguise of sorts, hat pulled down low, sunglasses, different clothes. And he specifically said, and it was harder to discern him, but had the same build, body type build and all that. So that to me was that disclaimer, letting the jury know, letting the court of public opinion at this point, but letting everybody know that when it comes down to trial and they show these videos, that it's going to be a little hard to tell, that it's not necessarily going to look like Tyler, when he comes back.
Yeah. Now, I know what it is now, Adam. He did a whole paper called "The Dogs That Did Not Bark in the Daytime." Hold on just a second.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm going to grab it real quick. Let's see. All right. Yeah. So the dogs that did not bark in the daytime. We will compare the FBI's successful search for Tyler Robinson's gun with their unsuccessful search for his clothing. We will argue that the contrast between the two is suspicious. It is as if they knew in advance that the rifle was to be found, even as they knew the clothing was not worth looking for. Let's see.
Whoever is in the photos does not have a rifle. That's exactly right.
Yeah. He says, here we can interject that an early report from the New York Times who spoke to locals indicated that sniffer dogs were deployed, and even that a rifle was thought to be found not in a bush, but a chicken coop, and as well an abandoned house was mentioned. These were false tips, I guess. Later rumors even suggested that the dogs were unsuccessful and that the FBI had directed inexperienced officers to research an area whereupon the gun was duly found.
Go look now.
Yeah, clearly such rumors stray from the official narrative, but at any rate, law enforcement had no reason to expect any find in any given location, but were nevertheless successful in uncovering important evidence that would trigger the eventual surrender of the suspect.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been at that point, what, 4.5 hours? What time? Didn't they find the gun around 5 o'clock or something like that?
I think it was like 7 or something, if my memory
maybe it was,
correct.
So they've had, 6-7 hours to look for it. And I mean, it's literally right there a couple hundred yards from the place. I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly. They should have done, with the intensity of this event, right? Charlie Kirk, like they should have done like they do search and rescue, where like they not link arms per se, but do like a fan out search for evidence,
Yep. No, I mean, and I don't know if it was it could have just been somebody like me and you talking, or, but it seems like, I remember somebody saying that they did indeed do that, where they, basically held hands and went for a walk.
Yeah. Like I said, I think they should have there's no reason to me that it took that long to find the rifle where it allegedly was, just in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially too, I mean, I think they were trying to indicate or state in the media that they, and that's another thing. They talk about all this video. When you look at the probable cause statement, the affidavit, and then you also look at the information, you know, they have all this camera footage of like when he came on campus, when he left, which direction he went, and all this stuff. Like, well, if you had all that information, you had footage showing which direction he exited out of the campus at, well then, hey, why don't we start following that direction and see where it goes?
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I just have a hard time. And then magically when the FBI gets there to start searching, then they find the rifle.
Yeah. Oops. They're like good luck charms.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yep. They're just like good luck charms. Whenever they show up, all of a sudden evidence just starts falling from the sky.
So did you see the Barron's episode talking about Gary and his
Oh man, I tell you what, old Uncle Barron is hot, he said, or something to that effect. Yeah, I knew that. I knew Gary was going to push it too far. I mean,
yeah, he's
like,
out, in my opinion, out of line for some of the stuff.
Oh
that he's
yes,
saying about
absolutely, way out of line.
I think name calling, period.
Yeah,
You know,
Baghdad Bob and
yeah.
No, I mean Gary, like I said, he's been out of line. Look, the fucker banned me or blocked me on X. Like, I mean, I don't know that I've ever even said anything to him on X other than sending him a very respectful DM asking him to, you know, kindly have me on his show like he promised.
I think it's a badge of honor to get blocked by Gary.
I guess
haven't been
so.
blocked yet. I guess I haven't been sharp enough with any criticisms. But I try to be like, you know, and you haven't really said anything mean about him,
No.
you know, necessarily. Like you haven't like called him out of like name per se in some type of super offensive way.
I think one time I commented on something because he said something that was extremely outrageous. And trust me, I was one of thousands. But anyway, I was like, Gary, are you that big of a dumbass? But I mean, like that's about all it was, you know? I mean, it wasn't anything, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing to me that warranted being blocked.
Yeah, exactly. What was I gonna say? The screwdriver. So he does a lot of, like I told you, the screwdriver was the location of the screwdriver shifted. Let's see.
A lot of things shifted.
Yeah. So on September 15th, Kash Patel announced that the screwdriver was found on the top of the low center roof, and that traces of Tyler's DNA was found on it. But he says, however, and this is what's so good, this was not the first mention. He says, in fact, on September 11th, CNN's Evan Perez reported that authorities recovered a screwdriver near the rifle investigators believe was used in yesterday's fatal shooting of, Kirk, according to a source with knowledge. Investigators believe this to be an indication that the shooter may have used it to disassemble and reassemble the firearm before using it. Removing the stock would help the shooter conceal the weapon in a bag or even in his clothing, they believe. Yeah, early on, remember there's, people were going, there's just no possible way, right? Especially because the video of the person going across the roof is allegedly to have been like within seconds after the incident occurred, and so it's like there's just no reason. And then somebody said the other day, maybe it was John Burr, somebody that a screwdriver wouldn't even work to disassemble that rifle.
I mean, look, it depends on what you mean by disassemble. Would a screwdriver take the stock off of it? Probably. But I don't know how much further you would expect to disassemble a rifle like that. You can't take it off of the action, and if you could, it wouldn't really gain you anything. Yes, you're true. That's true, Adams. the Adams Acre, yes. Now, if it was something like that, yes, that's a totally different animal. But
Yeah.
now, like a regular bolt action rifle, so like I said, it all depends on what you mean by disassemble. But if you're talking about taking the stock off of it, yes, most rifle stocks are held on with one flathead screw, and sometimes it's a Phillips. So, I mean, if that's what they mean by disassemble, then yeah, a flathead screwdriver would probably be all they'd need. At the end of the day, though, this is what doesn't make sense to me. Okay, so he disassembled it. They said that it was down his pant leg. Well, no, it would have had to have been down 2 pant legs if it had been disassembled.
Yeah.
And that's not what they're saying, and clearly there's not. So either he had a piece of this rifle down each side, down each leg, or the story's bullshit. And I'm leaning towards bullshit.
Yeah. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
I've not ever heard anybody bring that up before.
Yeah, because the stock and the barrel, okay, would have been longer than like his foot to his kneecap or his kneecap to his hip, to where if it was in his pants, he still wouldn't have been able to bend his knee correct. Or if he did,
oh no,
you know, the top would be like sticking out of his jeans. You know what I mean?
If that gun was assembled. If that gun was assembled, that stock would be hitting him somewhere, maybe not directly up under his armpit, but somewhere in the rib, you know, along his ribs or something. But again, like I said, for their story to be accurate, where he had it disassembled and then assembled it on the roof, because the stock would not fit in his bag by itself. The stock would not fit in his bag. Neither would the barreled section.
Yeah.
So, for their story to be accurate, he would have had to had a piece down each leg. Either that or both pieces down one leg, and that's impossible. That's just
I'm looking up right now. I'm putting length of stock of Mauser 98.
You might want to put on there sporterized, because if that is indeed the gun, which it very well could be, I mean, I've gone back and forth on it.
32 inches overall length of the stock.
Yeah. You're not going to fit that in a backpack.
3 feet long. That's almost 3 feet. Like that would be like just on its own half of his length.
Yeah.
Or half of his height on. Yeah. Length of, let me see, what's the barrel? Typically between 22 and 24 inches long. So 2 feet.
Now, but then you got to add the length of the receiver. And then you got to add the, because like a 26-inch barrel, that measures that's going to measure from the front of the receiver to the end of the barrel. So you add another just 5 or 6 inches, give or take, for the action, the receiver. And then, especially the way that scope was mounted on that gun, you would have to add at least another 3 or 4 inches for the length of the scope. So you're going from 26 to 34 inches.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So again, there's just no way, even if you broke it down, that it would have fit and not been very, very conspicuous.
And like I said, I mean, I have not yet heard one person bring that up. The fact that they say that it was disassembled and he reassembled it on the roof, which therefore means he would have had 2 pieces to carry up on the roof, which would mean either 2 pieces in one leg or one down each leg. And nobody's ever said that was the case. And we can tell, obviously, by watching him walk, he didn't have anything down one leg, much less both.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. So he lists out like all the problems with it, but like, so let me just, for instance,
while he's doing that, y'all, I believe a bunch of y'all are probably on Matt's channel. Please do me and Greg a favor.
I'm going to take a bathroom break real quick. If that's okay.
Go ahead, buddy.
You good? You hold court for a second?
Yeah, shoot you.
I'll be right back.
Everybody that's in the chat or anybody that's watching, period, if y'all are watching on Matt's channel, do me and Greg a favor and jump over on ours. You can do it now or you can do it when it's over, but jump on ours, give us a subscribe. We really love Matt, and we do we do a show with him once a week. Is what it's. We've been doing it like that for the last few weeks, us three on Friday nights. And so, but anyway, yeah, give us a like, give us a subscribe, all that good stuff. And anybody likewise that is watching on our channels that isn't subscribed to him, go do the same. Let's see what we got going on here. Could the rifle was placed in the woods early in the AM? It could be. It could have been placed early in the morning, for sure, but it would have had to have been unfired for a very long time for the dogs to have not found it. If it had been fired in any, reasonable amount of time prior to that day, they would have found it. So there's two options. Either the gun hadn't been shot in a very long time and had been placed there earlier, or it had been fired within some time period, prior, and got dropped off shortly before it was found. Yeah, exactly, Sophie. I it's bad enough. It's bad enough having to try to believe that he had something shoved down one of his pant legs, but when the story has to turn into he had one down each pant leg, it makes it so much worse. Crazy. Let's see. I'm going to go in person, and when they, for his innocence, I may be a little unladylike and say, what piece of shit corruption we have here, and you're far from LDS. That's funny. That's good stuff, though.
All right, back in black. Yeah, you want to go through some of the comments like you are?
Do what now?
Yeah, we can go through some of the comments.
Let's see. I didn't really scroll back much. Let's see.
Yes, I got quite.
That's true. All these government officials think we're stupid out here in the real world.
I mean, man, yeah, with this one, it's pretty incredible to me that it's just really bold. I feel, in the sense that it's my perspective that this is most definitely some type of very deep and involved cover up and framing of Tyler Robinson. And it just seems that it wasn't really either thought through very well, or they just really don't care.
Again, I still maintain I'm with John Bray on this. I still maintain the plan was for him to have a hole in his chest, and none of these questions would have ever come up.
Yeah. Yeah.
What we're discussing, everything we're discussing right now is all a byproduct of them saying he was shot in his little 5-6 inch neck with a 30-06 and it stopped. So again, if we all believed that he had a chest shot, chest wound, this none of this conversation, we wouldn't be having any of this conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And
so I mean, it could just be something as simple as a faulty case for a Rode microphone is what caused all this.
And what was I gonna say? Yeah, and so now, and then too, it's like if they now were to get rid of him, everybody would know. Everybody would for sure know.
I'd say it's dangerous for them to do that now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, either way, either someone else were to go after him, or if he took care of himself, like we would all know right then, what's up. So yeah, I certainly do believe that they are banking on, after this preliminary hearing, him entering into a plea bargain. And unfortunately, I think a lot of this again goes back to the messages. I think that it's the messages that again, I'm going to do a whole stream about their, potential legal authenticity, admissibility. But I think moral of the story is that they're going to be coming in at the preliminary hearing, and judge is going to consider them. And again, it's not a high standard. So, it's not, that, they're make or break it at that point, but they're going
Right.
to come in. And so that's really, I think, going to be the linchpin evidence. If he's going to plead, that's going to be the evidence that they're going to try to say, you're not going to get around this and all that. And, the thing is they took his phone very early on, and they could have very well, manipulated. It's all speculation. They very well could have manipulated those messages inside of there. And then him, knowing he didn't send them, but then knowing that they've had his phone and that they've manufactured these messages into there, as such, he could say, well, that sucks. I mean, I don't know, I'm going to get around that, so, but just, it pains me to think about it, really, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, oh no, it's some crazy stuff. I'm here to tell you. Yeah, I need to check that out. Where did you find all that on X, or where did you say you found that out?
What was that again?
That whole dissertation.
Oh yeah, here I'll post it again into the. Let's see, it's Chris.
I couldn't
Field.
remember if you said where you actually found it at.
It's academia. I'm gonna put it's academia.edu.
Okay.
If you type in his name, I'm putting it in the chat. Like if you Google it, it'll take you to his profile on there. And he has a ton of papers and stuff he's written. I think he's done like 20 or 30 on this case. And they're all, like I said, the ones I've read so far have been pretty incredible.
I wonder if he is on X. Surely to God
he is. No, he is.
Okay.
I follow him. He follows me.
Nice.
He's from the UK.
Be nice to get him on, wouldn't it?
Maybe, yeah, I'll see what he says.
Yeah, you ought to
I'll
DM
reach
him.
out to him. But yeah, he's been doing some incredible work, and I'm going to keep reading through his stuff, and I'm going to be putting together some live streams and stuff going over it. Like, I want to do one on his, a critical examination of the FBI's case against Tyler Robinson. I'll just read the points. It's like, one, the chronology in general, like the chronology is off. And in that, he says the early arrival on campus and the dry run in the neighborhood, but the ring camera stuff is off.
Yep.
The shooting and the screwdriver, Robinson in the gas station, Robinson at the Dairy Queen, Robinson attempts to retrieve his rifle, him at the other gas station, his surrendering, and then the case against the FBI narrative. The FBI cannot easily have discovered the outfit change. So like he's really meticulously like looked at these timelines and is like, they put out this information saying this, but there's no way they could have had that information at that time. The location of the screwdriver shifted. We talked about that.
Right.
The rifle
damn screwdrivers will grow legs and take off, though.
And the rifle retrieval, they early on, well, I say it was early on, later on, like here he says September 25th. And I remember this, there was like this story came out that like he had tried to go back to retrieve his rifle and some cop had confronted him, but they didn't know who he was at the time. And like they had ran his license plate, but obviously he had left. And so, and like he breaks it down here. He's like, they said this probably to try to fit to like bolster this narrative. And really it all relates back to the text, man. It all relates back to the text. They're trying to put these, again, in my opinion, trying to put these pieces of evidence out there to lend more credibility to the text messages. Because like I say, I think the texts are like the linchpin. Like that's the crux of their case.
Yeah. Yeah. God, talk about building on sand. Whew.
Dude, it's
I mean, what at this point is going to be their big, that's something I want to check into the Adams Acre. That's something I've got I want to look into him a little more. What's his name? Zach Qureshi or something like that. He is he's the one that, and there's police scanner, you can get the police scanner recordings, and he's the one that was supposedly going around. I think they said he was driving a Toyota Corolla or something to that effect, but that he was all in black, and possibly carrying or possibly something to the effect of possibly with a rifle, but that he was going from hospital to hospital searching for the victim.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah, I'd like to look into that. I just that's really strange to me.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anybody else really deal with it, which maybe it's one of those things where it doesn't go anywhere. Maybe, maybe there's nothing to find. Maybe it's just one of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'd like to look into it a little bit and see, because that's just weird.
Yeah, it is weird, man. I don't know what really to make of that. Yeah.
I mean, and the bad part about it is he was detained, what have you, and questioned. And this was all very quietly. Nobody found out about it till after the fact, and then released.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much of an innocent motive for going from hospital to hospital saying, "Hey, is he here? Is he here?" I mean, like, especially with a gun.
No, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. What kind of gun did he have? Did they say?
I just seems like they said that with a possible rifle, long gun. I can't remember now exactly. I guess maybe he could go from hospital to hospital asking for him, like, is he here? Is he here? I'm here to protect him. I don't want anything else to happen to him while he's in surgery.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want this to go wrong. These they better do the surgery, to spec. Yeah.
There you go. Nosy Googles. Dispatch said long dark hair carrying a long gun.
Yeah, there was quite a few in the 911 traffic right after it, there was quite a bit of allegation about these different potential characters who were involved.
Yeah, they saw, there was reports of somebody else being on the roof. Again, somebody in like tactical. I lost my camera. I'll be right back.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, y'all. I can't put the chats on the screen because it's Adam's, but I'm looking at some. Let's see. Rick talks about possible cloning phones. So I did look because, like I told y'all earlier, I was able to get a copy of the actual search warrant. And let me see, I got it here. In there they admit, so they did get Tyler's phone, which was a iPhone 14. But anyways, they took it to do the full digital extraction. So they have his phone. They did the full digital extraction. But I looked to see, like, can metadata and all these other things be edited and altered and modified? And it certainly can. But I also read, too, that good forensic experts would be able to tell whether something had been later altered or modified. Okay. And then, but then you ask too, it's like, well, and Rick has brought this up too, is that, well, did Lance Twiggs have access? Like, for instance, with the Discord, might Lance Twiggs have had access to the Discord to post that confession? And, obviously the thing is, I don't know if you can get that type of information from Discord. That's another thing that I read, is that, like, Discord doesn't, in like these private servers,
By the way, everybody, I'm tired of running out of battery and my shit freezing. So I literally just ordered me a battery pack. So from here in the very near future, I'll be able to plug the camera up into the wall. Forget about it.
Says, for criminal investigations, the platform provides IP addresses, account registration details, and payment history under legal request. So you should be able to get timestamps, the content, embedded content. They can get the connection logs, the IP addresses associated with logins and message posts, basic subscriber information, billing. So Discord doesn't give a lot, but they do give the IP addresses, right? So presumably,
That tells you a lot.
Yeah. So I think with the Discord message, like, I think that should fairly easily actually be proved whether he did, and mostly, like I said, because he should be on video at that time. I believe that there should be video showing what Tyler Robinson is actually doing at the time that alleged message was sent. Now with the phone, that's one thing that, you'd want to look at the GPS data. And the thing is it's not real clear exactly where Tyler Robinson was at certain times.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of unclear. And so, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. But I'm going to do, like I said, a whole stream about the legal authenticity and, with the information that we know,
Right.
about the text messages, their content, the circumstances around them, like, based upon what we know, what might it look like with the prosecutor trying to get these things authenticated and admitted, and then ultimately that second question is, well, even if the judge lets it in, will the jury believe that they're authentic, right? Because those are two separate questions. The judge letting it in is one thing, that's a kind of a lower barrier, but then, based upon what I'm seeing in, at least with our group here and in the larger, I think that even if they are let in, that the defense should be able to raise enough reasonable doubt as to whether they are truly authentic or not.
Right. Glaring deficiencies is so we create the perfect outcome. Yeah, I think look, anything's possible, but I feel like before it's all said and done, it will be an acquittal. I mean, at least to a degree. Maybe it's not an acquittal, but I don't see how they can get a conviction.
Yeah,
maybe a hung jury, but
Yeah, no doubt. I'm the same way. I think that there's, again, with people writing academic papers on all the reasonable doubt, I have a hard time thinking that. But with that being said,
if we could get the jurors' names and we could check Google Trends to make sure they weren't searched either in DC,
that's right,
Huntsville, or Israel.
Yeah, you said a mouthful there for sure. You said a mouthful there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see, huh?
Yeah, we will. We shall see. That's all we can do. When is it that the preliminary is starting?
It's going to, the preliminary is not till July. They have a hearing on June 12th.
Okay. What was that? What's that one? Is that one another?
That's going to be over the contempt and, the constitutionality of the hearsay at the preliminary hearing.
I mean, they might as well go ahead and can we have cameras in the courtroom again? They've addressed that things like every hearing that they've had.
Yeah. Well, I think they've pretty much sorted all that out, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. So, I think they should be in there. Like I said, I can understand the argument for them, not being in there, even though I'd like for them to be up to a point. But when that jury goes in there, definitely, without a doubt. Like I said, I just soon them be in there. I'd rather them be in there the whole time. But
yeah, no doubt. Let's see.
Let's see what else. I was thinking of something else earlier, and I can't remember now what it was I was gonna say. But yes, did you watch that whole episode last night at Barron?
Yeah, I watched most of it. Yeah, I did.
That's crazy. That sounds like what do you do with that if you're Gary? Just be like, oh, he's lying and keep her on? Or, how do you not get rid of her?
I'll just say it like I feel. Dude, I think with, it's kind of like with Blake Neff at TPUSA.
That's exactly how he was.
to be quite honest with you, for a lot of people on that side, MAGA, and so I don't think really morality or anything like that's really a concern anymore, man. I mean, I don't think that, I guess that their movement and them over there, it's falling apart so quick that they need all hands on deck. And like, I think that in that environment,
it don't matter about the
morals, people doing stuff like that. I mean, absent them, like killing somebody. I don't know, but then it's like with Epstein and everybody covering up for them. It's like, I don't know if there is a moral low for some people in this country anymore. To be quite honest with you, I just don't.
There you go. There's your question. Buddy.
No, there's no jury. It's just going to be a judge. It's just judge. I mean, it's really just a show. I mean, it's as Tyler Robinson's attorneys argued, I think very, cogently, they're just going to be like, what did they say? Like a potted plant. I mean, there's no real witnesses to confront, like the major evidence, like the text messages and all that is going to come in through Lance Twiggs authenticate. So, I mean, there's just going to be no real chance for the defense to really do much at all. I think they're going to plan on maybe presenting a little bit of counter evidence. I don't know. They published their witness exhibit list. I don't have it on hand. But there's just really not much they can do. It's just kind of sit there and let the prosecutor throw up a bunch of stuff that we obviously feel has been manufactured, but it sucks. All of our hands are kind of tied at this juncture.
I mean, at some point they're going to have to back up all the things that they've been saying. And in my opinion, I mean, it just seems like they have been pretty careful, not been over promising. And I think there's a reason for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, Echo last time we were on here.
I mean, I've heard prosecutors get on there and literally, we've got this, we can prove that.
Yeah.
You don't hear that.
I tell you, I think, my perspective is this. I think his defense attorneys, obviously his defense attorneys are left-leaning people. You know what I mean? To be a criminal defense lawyer, death penalty, they're left-leaning in their, political, social views, I'm sure. And I don't know how far left. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
And if we, the left has been the main one about conspiracy theorists and, oh my God, you're a conspiracy theorist and all this. And I wouldn't be surprised if these people done got hit with right directly in the face with a straight up conspiracy, dude. And, I think that they are, and I think they probably see that the media is being used, leverage to push this. And I think they're probably I think they're doing a good job. I really do. But I think in the back of their mind, they're trying to what the fuck? Really? Yeah. Really? I mean, if they're not in on it, right? And again, I don't saying they are. Like I said, I've gone a little bit back and forth on that issue. I'm kind of thinking now that they're not in on it based upon reading pleadings and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that they are probably in a bit of a state of shock, to be quite honest with you. And, with that being said, I think they're going to be prepared if this goes to trial to pull out all the stops then, and I don't know if they've been having conversations with the prosecutor. I mean, if I were a defense attorney in their shoes and the situation is as we believe it is, I would just be telling them, like, are y'all sure? Do y'all really want to go air this out at trial? And I guarantee you that the prosecutor's hands are tied. They've probably got
they're going to have to bring it.
Political and the pressure coming down on them to like get this done. Yeah. And imagine them. I mean, just imagine if they're not necessarily in on it, and maybe it is that they're just handed this and say, go make it happen, which might be a real possibility. And they're looking at this and and sure, they're not going to indulge in any kind of idea that they probably got it, if they're not directly in on it, like they got this, and just as the way prosecutors are, there's no way they would indulge any other inference than he did it, right? Even if the evidence, and this is how a lot of prosecutors are, even when the evidence right in front of them is like, yeah, no, this is a terrible case, like they get it in their mind, and then on top of that, all the political pressure, if they're not in it, they're definitely overlooking things right in front of their face.
Yes,
like,
I mean they're prosecutors. They get paid to prosecute, which means they get paid to end up with a guilty verdict. And they're not the ones that are putting these cases together. They're just bringing them after the fact. So, at the end of the day, I mean, they get handed a pile of shit. They got to do the best they can with it. And somebody's thinking along the line, this is a pile of shit.
And we also always have to remember too, and this is even in regards to the people at TPUSA who obviously look just terrible. We don't know, right? I mean, we got to think, look what just happened to Charlie Kirk. Okay. If indeed that's what happened, right? If he's definitely not with us no more, if that's true, you have to just imagine the kind of people that you're dealing with. Right. And so we don't know for sure that they're not being told like they are in South again. And I'll say our country has devolved into a third world country wherein it wouldn't surprise me if the judge, the DA, the defendant had been told plata or plumo, mofo. You know what I mean? Plata or plumo. I wouldn't be surprised, dude. So that's another thing that I always have to think about too, and reserve a little bit of leniency for these people, because I don't know if they're in that situation or not. Yeah. And, if they are, I feel terrible for them.
Well, it's like I've said from the get-go. At this point, everybody there is guilty of the cover-up in some shape, form, or fashion. A lot. Now, I don't believe that every single one of them knew ahead of time exactly what the plan was. There were probably some of them that just knew that he was on his way out one way or the other. There were probably some of them that didn't know anything at all, and then there was probably some of them that knew exactly what, when, where, and how. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when we heard that loud bang and he fell out of his chair, anybody that didn't know ahead of time, I mean, that was a message for them. It was.
Yeah, exactly. So
we've seen all this stuff, all this weird stuff going on for the past few months or what have you. And all of a sudden they know what it is, but you think they're going to go say anything?
That's right.
They just got Charlie Kirk in front of God and everybody in public.
That, dude, like who we're dealing with here. And, and then too, it's like, and you see them flexing with the media. They could, presumably they control them too. Right. So it's like F around and find out. And then, then in the media, you'll look terrible and nobody's going to ever find out it was, it's just a whole wicked, bad, evil, in my opinion, thing, man. All the way around. Yep. No good. Like whether he did go, whether Charlie isn't with us anymore or he is, or this whole thing is, I mean, to me, it's just really symptomatic of where we've come over, obviously it's taken a long time to get here, but look, ladies and gentlemen, this is exhibit A of where we're at, particularly with certain other agencies and, allies, stuff like that, in my opinion. This is where we're at, man.
There's another good comment right there. Testimony is we heard a firecracker.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I brought that up many times.
You don't hear they don't let those people speak, really, right? But they have made the statement. Yeah, Joe, you're right.
That's where John Bray comes in. Look, I don't know if you have seen it. This may be the first time checking any of us out, but if you'll go back a few shows,
Joe's been here. Yeah, Joe's been here.
Is that okay? So, hey, is he one of your subscribers then?
Oh yeah. Joe's been with me for ever since I've.
He may be subscribed to me, but I don't think I've ever seen him hang out in the chat unless maybe he popped up.
He appears every now and then. Yeah. He's sending us email stuff too.
Anyway, make sure you go back and check out that John Bray show about a week ago. I guess it's
I think it was last Saturday, wasn't it?
Yeah, last Saturday. Yeah. But it was really good, and just so I'm gonna let everybody know now. I've been talking to John a little bit since. Everybody seems to really love him. So
he's good. He seems like a good dude.
Yes, very good. He has committed to coming on and doing a show once a month. So
nice.
We'll all be John, man. Seeing and hearing a bunch more from him. So here in the near future.
Sophie says the biggest question I keep asking myself, so as not to completely lose sight of the human factor in all this, is the sheer number of people involved in one way or another. Who was it? It might have been
That's
Valhalla
where
VFT.
compartmentalization comes
Yeah,
in.
Valhalla VFT early on, like really early on, was like, it becomes harder and harder for me to believe in a conspiracy or psyop, like when you have to have like so many people involved. And I get that makes sense. But I think this is one of those situations, man, where like, and to be honest with you, back to what I said, I think the only way you can have that many people involved and not spill the beans is with the Plata or Plumo ultimatum.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna apply to everybody. Everybody's gonna have to accept one of them too. You know what I mean?
Yep. Like I said, that compartmentalization.
Not everybody's gonna take the money. There's gonna be some people in there that there's gonna be one person, especially as large as this bunch has got to be. You would hope one person would stand and say, I'm not going to take that money. This is not right. But when you put the Plumo in there as well, well, then that is what it is. And exhibit A of, that we mean business. You know what I mean? And I think that's part of how it's been at least somewhat effective, right? In the sense that no one's come out and said, oh, yeah, this is what it is. This is what happened. Like, again, if it's how we think it is, it's been very effective in that regard.
Well, like I say, compartmentalization is a big thing. A lot of people, they know that they get told to do something and shut their mouth or else, but they don't know what they're a part of. And
that's right. So a lot of people had specific tasks connected, but they didn't understand. Maybe they do now, looking back.
I'm sure they do now.
Now I do. But then again, I ain't just saying nothing. I'm gonna.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And a lot of people are like, "Damn, somebody else could be getting the same instructions right now for me." So I think I'll just shut up.
Yeah. So Pam Armstrong says, so did Lance T give them Tyler's gun? I mean, I just look. Your guess is good as mine. I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, they definitely. I mean, if we're led to believe,
I think that Tyler was involved to a degree, and I feel like the gun was probably his involvement at least. Don't you?
Yeah, I mean, it might have been something where they commanded him to like give his gun over to them for maybe they didn't even tell him like, hey, you need to like.
Or show up there with the gun.
Yeah, or go put the gun here. That might have been
somebody else is,
like, you need to go drop
there.
that rifle over there, by this spot here, and gave him a pin on the iPhone or something.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that, and again, I don't know if that's true, like what put him in that situation where they can command him around. I don't think we'll ever know for sure, but like, yeah, most definitely could. I mean, something fishy, but obviously they haven't been able to connect the gun to, the thing in Charlie's neck. But,
right.
Like I said,
I don't think that's going to happen.
They chose not to let an official ambulance take care of Charlie afterwards. I no longer can have 100% faith in any of this medical examiner's report or none of that stuff, right? I mean, you have Brian Harpole admitting on Sean Ryan that he put gauze in Charlie's thing on the way to the hospital. So it's like, well, if that's where they found the fragment, who's to say he didn't? Again, that's just speculation. I don't know that for a fact. It's just allegedly, but just bringing that up to say that it creates a lot of issues, at least for me, in terms of credibility.
All you got to do is take a deer or something that you shot, go in there and pick out a few of them pieces, clean them up real good so they ain't got no DNA left on them, and you got them for whenever you need them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing some about this, what Brett's talking about right here. Found out last night there's a lot of concern that if this case is moved to a federal court, we'll never find out who is involved in this, and everything will get lost in the federal system.
It's not going to be moved to a federal court at this point. It's too far along.
I think what gets it in a federal court, I could be wrong, and I'm not an attorney again, but I think what gets it in a federal court is if there's an acquittal. I think that the feds are going to step in probably.
I think that would be double jeopardy.
I don't think they'll re-prosecute him, but I think maybe at that point they'll have Charlie Kirk. I mean, if he gets an acquittal, somebody's going to have to hang.
Well, I don't know. But the thing is, I don't think they're going to, it'd be double jeopardy at that point. Like they're gonna have to go after the person who actually did it. Like,
that's what I mean. I figure there'll be an investigation, another
yeah.
investigation, because nobody. Do you really think? I don't know. John F. Kennedy. They never. I mean, they got their patsy, I guess, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. I don't know about you, but and I could sit here and talk all night.
No,
but
you're good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go eat, man.
I don't know if you can hear it or not, but I got a little
Oh
one.
wait, hold on, real quick. Yeah, they
screaming.
can be retried in federal court.
Okay. Huh.
But again,
Steve
here's the
Cameron
thing, though. I
Productions.
tell you, by them alleging he was a sole shooter, kind of shot themselves in the foot with federal jurisdiction. I'm going to have a hard time thinking about how they're going to get federal jurisdiction. If, like I say, the only solid federal jurisdiction point I would have seen is if there were multiple people across state lines involved.
Which
in
there could be through Discord. And besides that,
yeah,
I mean,
so I think with the lone gunman thing, that means that a Utah resident in Utah committed this crime without any other like really overt link across state. I don't know if they'd be able to get federal jurisdiction at this point or not. But yeah, you do bring a good point. I mean, they possibly could. But again, I think if you get in, look, if after that media blitz in a conservative state like Utah, where you've already convinced like 60-something% of the people in the jurisdiction, like if you can't get a guilty verdict on that, I just don't think the prospects would be worth. And plus, too, by that point, we might have another administration or at the midterm. Like I think a lot of this is because of the administration and the Republican majority provides a lot of protection for some of the stuff that's going on here. Just in my opinion, right? I don't know that for sure, but like, man, they're like, for instance, Kash Patel denying Joe Kent to like do like these other things. Like, you know, by that point, there might be another FBI director administration that doesn't block them from doing other investigations. And so that's a real possibility too. Oh, just so y'all know, it's late. I will bring Jax on. Jax is doing good. We took him to play with his sister yesterday. They had a really good time. He got really, really tired. But he's been good. We've been taking him. I took him on a walk this morning, so we're gonna start walking every day. But yeah, I will bring him on. Him and Mama are in bed already. But well, I'll bring him on Sunday. Oh, I'll tell you back. Sunday I'll do the member stream, and so y'all that are
there you go.
I'll bring Jax on.
There you go. Sunday member stream featuring Jax.
Yeah. And thank you, Daisy, for the super chat. Thank you for everybody who showed up. God bless all y'all. I'll be putting together the text message thing, and I will we'll talk about that on Sunday during the member stream. I'll show y'all what I'm working on, and then we'll take it over to a full stream.
You got that coming up, and then I don't know if I'll do it this weekend. I may try to do it tomorrow night, but I'll have my part 2 of the drones coming up. I don't know if you've seen what I
did. Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, so I got the second half of that coming up. I may try to do it tomorrow night, but that's what'll be coming up next.
Cool.
Anyway, thank y'all for showing up. Yes, absolutely. Love to see y'all in there. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe, of course. Let's see. Yeah, and anybody that had in mind to give me a super chat and you couldn't, you can always go to the description. There's 3 links there. That's where my super chats have to go until I get monetized, which it's coming. It's coming really soon. So if you want to give something, you can drop a few dollars and either PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App, depending on what flavor you like the best.
Yay!
But, yeah. Cool. Anyway, cool. I guess I'm gonna go play with the baby.
All right, Bubba. We'll have a good one, man. I'll see my people on Sunday, and we'll catch you on the flip side, Adam.
All right, guys. Hey, love y'all. See you later.
All right, brother. Much love, man. We'll see you, dude.